yeah, we are now live. I'm gonna be sharing this with a few groups, and then we'll be proceeding really quickly in short order. Aetherdrift, actually from early reports, it is quite interesting. It's gonna be super technical, which may be very good or very bad, depending on how you feel about how you feel about draft in general. It's definitely not done. It could be on rails if the draft aligns, but more often than not, you're going to be making a lot of smaller decisions. Also interesting to see that between colors, the power has shifted quite a bit. My green is once again on top of the power rankings. Black black follows closely, being able to have both cheap removal and hard removal, so and that is quite effective. I would say blue is also kind of up there, though it's a bit trickier than most. Red suffers quite a bit. It does have solid removal, but the creatures just generally got bigger in general. So lightning strike not exactly hitting all the. It still hits a lot of the early mid range, but if against green, it's gonna miss quite a few of the mid range stuff. White is probably the biggest loser right now. Um, like its only reliable removal spell is literally right end. The and the usual banishing light effect is now a rare, so we're not gonna see much of that. It's also a bit tricky in the sense that it's definitely creature centric, but the mid aggro creature centric stuff is not quite panning out. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. Today we are doing a quick premiere draft of Aetherdrift. It's not quick, it's just a premiere draft. So what are the things that we get to look out for? So white, blue, black, definitely looking out for artifacts. Blue, red is kind of interesting, but I feel like white, blue, black, blue, red, and in some respects, green, white, they need to have the most lineup. Black, red can take a little bit of extra time because it has most of the removal, but that's probably next, along with green, red, green. So we're kind of white black is also a bit on rails in that respect. So we're pretty much looking at green black and green blue. Red white is probably the scariest one to run as of the moment, but we'll see how it pans out. And there we go. Got the draft up, and let's see what our first pick is gonna be. It's a clone effect, so this one is worth considering. We have crash and burn as removal, so we could kind of try staking our claim on red here. Magmakin Artillerist is a payoff if you want to go blue red. I'd say that Wax and Shapeweave is probably the best pick right now because it's probably the most flexible. Also, green blue tends to be the multicolored set, so we can probably take this one just to be the most flexible in that respect. Not exactly much of anything else here. So I'm gonna probably just take this one. My next pick would most likely have been the Crash and Burn. Fang Guardian is kind of okay. The greens are kind of okay, but these are not the strongest green cards here. Cryptcaller Chariot. Whenever you discard one or more cards to create that many tap. So we could do a blue black in this sense. Black red is also kind of in there because that has some of the cycling cards as well. There's a dismal backwater we could try to get back. I already passed one Crash and Burn. I kind of don't mind passing the second one at this point. Also, not getting much green. We got solid green as Lost in the Surveyor. It's just not super powerful. We'll just take the two rares for now. Then we'll see where we pan out. Spin out is probably our next best choice here. If we go, but that leads us to This one is super flexible that we just need one blue source and we can be fine with whatever. Cryptcaller Chariot, and it does have cycling as well, so there is that. So, but I am gonna take the spin out here. So we're gonna be on the lookout for cycling cards. Also gonna be on the lookout for maximum overdrive. We kind of need creature effects here. Gear Seeker Serpent, not as strong as it was before. There's Spectral Interference, which is always solid. We probably should be taking that. Hellish Sideswipe. It is also another solid piece of removal. If we're planning to make a lot of creatures, this is the way to go. We're kind of passing on an Unswerving Slot, which is actually quite solid. So this is why we're looking for removal. That's pretty much our answer to this one. Collision Force is also fine. Well, Venom Saklagak is actually a big performer here. I guess we could just take a 3 mana 7/2. It's definitely better than the 3 mana 3/2 at this point. Alternately, we could just take the Nimble Topterus and try to work with any future artifacts. And I might probably like this better here. Sure, we could try to clear the way, but this would be more of a black-red specialty. There is also Stall Out, which is a cycling effect. We could also consider the Stall Out as well, but I kind of want to take the Topterus first. And Midnight Mangler is very good at holding the fort for the most part. There is also a Marauding Mako. I could try to take this one and see if we could do a pivot there, but I think the safer pick is just the Midnight Mangler. Trip Up is also kind of okay. It's removal. It's there. It has cycling. I think I would rather have the defense because we're kind of trying to build up a board of sorts here. We're not super aggro, so we kind of want to have this. Got ourselves another spin out. We also have Keen Buccaneer as a way to do draw and discard for the Cryptcaller Chariot. I would like to take this. Maybe we can pass on one spin out, but do I want to take this many spin outs this early? Probably want to take the Keen Buccaneer. We'll go blue main for the most part. I think I'll take the second spin out here. Just put our stake here. Then we try to see what else we get here. We could get the Stall Out. We could get the Glitch Ghost Surveyor. We're not exactly starting engines here, so I think the Stall Out is a better pick for us in this case. That said, we really need to start figuring out our creature setup here. We're definitely on the control plan with this. What's interesting that we could just cycle the Shape Thief instead but we do have kind of all our eggs on this Cryptcaller Chariot basket, so we have to be careful. We want to be on the lookout for other effects that pay us off for cycling, in a sense, discarding cards. So the blue flyer is a very good one. That's one we could consider here. Also, not exactly liking that we're 4/4 split in colors here. So I guess we could just main black. Yeah, I kind of want to avoid taking this. This is just yet another vehicle. We are short on creatures right now, but so we might have oversold this one. Let's see if we can kind of cycle our way out of this. Howler's Heavy. This is a creature. It's also a cycler. It's either that or target mounted control becomes saddled until end of turn. Guidelight Matrix is a consideration, but I think I'm more likely to take Howler's Heavy here. Refueler is a good fit. Alternately, I could just take a camera launcher. We could, because blue black is also artifacts. I think I'll take the Refueler. It's generally cheaper. Now we can take the Spectral Interference is here, but I am taking the Gear Seeker Serpent. We do need to have a payoff for having all these artifacts. Get another Stall Out, but I think that's the third one is too many already. Hey, we get our rares again. We'll most likely take the second Well, we'll most likely take the second Cryptcaller Chariot as well here instead of the second Wax and Shape Thief. But we do need to be on the lookout for creatures like these. We need to make sure we have actual creatures here. Repurposing base, sacrifice another artifact, search for an artifact +1. So if I'm gonna tutor for this, I would need an artifact that costs 3. I could just start taking Walking Sarcophagus, Glitch Surveyor. Deathless Pilot is a good one to take here. It kind of just keeps coming back. We'll take the Deathless Pilot here. We are kind of blue. We are kind of maining blue at this point, but we could. There are a few cars we can. Cars. Well, they are vehicle. Well, this is a car. This one is more like a refueling raid. I guess if we cut the cards, this one, but this is our defensive car. This is our chariot. This is also super defensive. The only caveat is that it does not help crew anything. There's an Ancient Vendetta, but that's really for constructed. Another Midnight Mangler is kind of interesting. I might actually just take the Wicker Folk. We need to figure out which color we're gonna main. I think we're gonna main blue at this point. Or could I just cut a bunch of this? Also, this is an artifact, so we'll take this one. What we're missing is a blue-black artifact payoff. I could speculate in Voyage Home. This one just requires a white splash. And alternately, Keen Buccaneer is also pretty solid. We could just take this instead. This is probably easier for us compared to this one. Yeah, we'll take the Keen Buccaneer. There's a Fearless Swashbuckler. Vehicles you control have haste. We still have to crew them. Alternately, Siphon Fuel. This is another removal spell, which I probably don't mind taking. Also, -6/-6 means it does dodge quite a few things. If I can stay in these colors, I'll stay in these colors. Hull Drifter is a consideration, but that's also kind of expensive for us here. Shitten Gravestalker. This spell costs 1 less for each artifact or creature card in your graveyard. So we could run this, and we could also cycle it. So this is also another payoff on that direction. All of a sudden, we're down even again. If I were to cut cards, Rangers of Fueler is probably the cut here. We don't have any other exhaust abilities. We're not exactly the exhaust deck here, so that's an easy cut. Also, it's easier to go into less blue. So now we have yet another Midnight Mangler, yet another Keen Buccaneer. Since we already have the Cryptcaller Chariots, I'm more incentivized to take the Keen Buccaneer, which also is an exhaust card, so that's something to consider. And we get yet another one. Though I could... Optimizer might work for this one. It does help us cast this. It does not help us cast this, though. It's also another artifact card to help us in the future. And I kind of want a cheaper card at this point. There's this Streaking Oil Gorger, but again, we are not the... I guess we can take one trip up. Super Control, but we need to figure out our proper direction here. Also, thankfully, the few vehicles we have are relatively on the cheap end. Actually, with this one, the opposite might now be true. We can take the Rangers Refueler between the two Keen Buccaneers. We'll take the Repurposing Bay. I would like to take the Broadside Barrage, but I think we have enough removal at this point. Another Midnight Mangler. We'll figure out how much of this fits in, but we probably want to consider some of this. Yeah, definitely blue main here. The double black is a bit of a concern here. But it's nice that most of our cards require just 1 pip, so everything is just straight mana for us. We'll take an Ancient Vendetta just for the collection. But so what are we on the lookout for? Any of the blue-black signpost cards? Okay, we did not get the. Oh, this would have been a really nice rare. Just enters and hits hard. Gas Alpha Reader is not a great card here. I could take another Gear Seeker Serpent. Wreck Remover does have an exile effect. I don't know how relevant this is. Would I rather just have another Chit and Gravestalker? So that would most likely be the pick. Shame we're passing on the Detention Chariot. We have a lot of non-creatures right now, so we need to consider cutting some of them. Which means we want to start taking more creatures as we go along. Like, the stallouts are starting to look not that great. Sure, they have cycling, but if we can find cycling on creatures, we would rather take those instead. Ooh, that's a Regal Imperiosaur. There is a Roadside Blowout. There's also a Grim Bauble. I think I would take the Grim Bauble here for. In which case, the two stallouts kind of not looking that great here. Yeah, I would rather just take the Grim Bauble here. The two stallouts are interesting, but not that great. We do get a Possession Engine. Gain control. That creature can't attack. It's interesting enough. The other option would just be Bounce Off, which is actually pretty solid, but again, we have the issue of having too many non-creature spells. I guess I'll take the. I could take the rare. The Mutant Surveyor is kind of fine also. It's just as a creature, though we're not really gonna max speed it at all. I think we just take the Possession Engine. Okay, this is what we want. Scrounging Skyray, another a good payoff for that. Flood Engine would be a payoff for removal, but we'll take the Skyray here. Tactile Terror is our other payoff. It's a payoff for all the artifacts we play. We have 7 of them right now, so this actually does something. But I think we're closer to blue, and we're closer to the cycling time, so we're gonna take that. I might be wrong, so there's an Aether Siphon. Yeah, the stallouts are gonna kind of stall out here. I'm willing to take the Tactile Terror here at this point. Kind of split the difference. Have a route for each of them. We still need to. But yeah, I really cannot afford to take any of these. I also cannot afford to take more. I already have 2 of these. I might just have to take the Bounce Off because it's the cheapest effect. Or I could just blow out and draw a card, which we could use some help in. I think I prioritize the cheaper effect and take the Bounce Off. Card draw is gonna. We do have quite a few cyclers here. I think we do cut the Refueler at this point. One stall out kind of counts here. Or we can add the Midnight Manglers to supplement our creature count instead, because we're just using these on defense. So 13-11 is actually 15 and 9 when it matters. There's a Slick Imitator. There's another Topterist, which I kind of want here. I am concerned that our 4s are really high. Also, this is super late. I am not going to be getting this back. I will consider it. We'll just take another Topterist. There's the Bounce Off is back here. Lightning Strike is nice, but yeah, I guess we can take another Bounce Off here. But we'll figure out how to. And there's another Gear Seeker Serpent. I kind of want to figure this one out. We'll put in the site. Really need to figure out the direction we want to go. Spectral Interference is an option. We'll take that. Mutant Surveyor as an optional creature. We could easily cut out most of the black here at this point, actually. So, like, we could just keep. Let's see. Let's take a look at removal check. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 hard removal. We're stalled out. So we are super controlled at this point if we do that. We'll be relying on the Cryptcaller Chariots to make tokens and then swing in. We don't exactly have a 3-mana artifact, so we can't just repurposing Bay into that. So 15 and 11. So the Midnight Manglers can actually go now at this point. So we are losing some early drops if we do that. So we are now looking at 15 and 9. We can probably cut one expensive creature. Also, the issue is that like our Howler's Heavy is, when you cycle that feeds +1 here. Wax and Shape Teeth, that will feed +1 here. The Gear Seeker Serpent is probably the weakest of the bunch. I probably will cut that one instead. So we can start with this one. Our mana is a big mess here. It's giving us 9, but and I guess it kind of makes sense. We don't exactly have most of our blue plays are at 4 anyway, 3 and 4. So I kind of don't mind this one. If I added most of these early plays instead, I will have to start cutting a bunch of the black here. Like the Possession Engine is interesting, but it takes a creature out of the... It takes your opponent's best thing out of combat, so that is something to consider. I'll just run it like this for now. We are in trouble in the sense that our mana fixing is nil, which is why we're forced to stick to 2 colors. Our early game is kind of nil, so if someone was able to assemble a good green-white or red-white deck, we are in real trouble. White-black is also another concern here. I'll most likely lead on Wreckage Wickerfolk first. And we need one, we don't need both. We might run into another one, so we'll take both of those out. So next thing is probably just Skyray. Now the nice thing about the Shape Thief is if our opponent has a good green creature, we could just take theirs. We're gonna stall out our creature instead, which is super fine with us. But our opponent playing green-blue means they also are going for a long game, so cards like stall out actually kind of work for them. Tortoise. Token. Yeah, it's interesting. Basically, it's a one-shot catch-up mechanic. I kind of want to play this later. I like do this and exhaust at the same turn. That's kind of not realistic. I think the best thing to do is just to cast this out and figure out how to apply the like, okay, they did have the Spectral Interference. Just get it out of the way. If our opponent casts a big creature, I want to go for their big creature. Copy their big creature first. Elvish Refueler, not a great copy for us because we're not going to be able to activate this. Our best bet is probably just to Cyclone this now before our opponent can shot at it. Oh, Drifter. We could copy that. Oh, it's one that we control. Okay, we'll copy this. take the Succession engine, I guess. Taking their best weakness when it comes to. I'm okay taking 3. Alternately, I could have held back to block. Actually, no, guys. Yeah, let's just feed it to them. Should probably not have played. I should have stormed first, let that happen. See how they would have blocked when you finish the cycle. They're just going to take it fortresses, so there is that. Yeah, we probably misplayed this one. Also, there's an argument for playing this one first because we missed out on the trigger. One's gonna do it first. Yeah, I misread the copy effect. It's only used on we hold back. It has the Midnight Mangler Naked Swing, but we could always use the Surveyor. They're most likely gonna. Oh, we're definitely not swinging those speeds. Oh, how did we? Wait, how did we start our engines here? We got control of this. If you have no speed, it starts at 1. Ah! Just getting control of this gives us start our engines? Okay. That's super interesting. I'm kind of hoping for card draw here. That said, this is pretty good. Yeah, at least you have something that you can defend. Now we need our cycler. Oh, like this one. We can cycle this. I'm not gonna cycle it right away. Because we want to generate a lot of stuff. When it goes to Dredger's Insight, not the I guess they gain life when they get stuff out of the yard, so they're probably gonna get the refueler back, but which is the oh no, they went for the diversion unit. Oh, they wanted to have an extra fire, I guess. Now we're the ones with max speed. But they can sack this to make us pay 3 more, so we should hold back a bit. We don't have enough artifacts to go through our opponent's entire life total. And we did mill quite a few lands. Oh wait, our opponent actually ended up drawing more cards. So this might be a long drawn out battle. I could play the Nimble Top Tourist. We're not exactly swinging out yet. This is like really slow and painful. I wish I had a repeatable way of making cards back. Tactile Terror is gonna be doing a lot of work. Like, I'm also tempted to just swing with these, but that's really still gaining life back, so we're not. We have to swing eventually. I'm surprised they did not go for that combo. Play the land. He might have another Spectral Interference. Okay, Spectral Interference is Artifact or Creature spell. He has to have another regular counter spell, otherwise it's going to be... otherwise he should just let this go. He could have a bounce effect, which would be super annoying. They would draw cards again. Can't really do anything about that. Run over... Okay, that's fine. Maybe does let it go. Jump blocks that, I'm fine with that. Now we can start shipping down in earnest. And it also seems to be, yeah, they also seem to be flooded right now. Oh, we're also kind of flooded as well, so it's... I'm gonna start swinging with this because I want to start paring down the opponent's board. Make it easier for our Crystalline Chariot to actually start swinging in if we have to. And Camera just died again, so... Sec. Okay, this actually had deactivate activate, so... And yeah, we end the turn there. But our opponent is eventually going to draw into something that can answer the situation. So we have to be careful of that. They're now also sandbagging cards, so we should also be careful of that. Oh no, they still play the lands. We're still drawing into lands as well. I kind of now want to have the Gear Seeker Serpent here. Kinda air quotes cards on the table for everyone here. One is now casting something. Oh no, they're cycling for the trip up, and my camera just died again. What gives? And I have to be careful because otherwise it... Oh no, it's just dying for real. I'll just leave it alone. Let that resolve. I wish the possession engine took something better. Just cast this. Yeah, as long as I don't have to attack, I won't try to attack. I also could have swung with this when I forgot. It also helps that these are relatively large creatures, so they're actually solid as defense. Yeah, we're not exactly swinging with it, but it does contribute to the board stall. So I could trip up, but it doesn't really help. going sideways. Let's go into another land, but we're with that. I'm also gonna start swinging again. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I just forgot about this. I'll swing it in. I'm pretty sure our opponent has. Well, they still don't have an answer for now. I'm trying to think, what massively big spell could they have that would ruin our game? Camera launcher plus exhaust. Oh, this would be nice for the pack altair, except that we only had one, so that's for it. Yeah, this is gonna be super slow. Next turn, I'm probably gonna go for it. Preferably, I have a cycler in hand. Oh, our opponent overdrafted the ticket for twice. Yeah, because if we're going for the flyers thing, let's see, we got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we got 3 lands left with 8 spells. Honestly, we would have been trouble. Ooh, I figured they were going for a Satsunan. Which means we just have to keep stalling because this is not a May effect. So we just need to hold out. I could sacrifice to draw a card, but I don't really want to. Also, our opponent draws 2 cards first, so yeah, we're just gonna try to time them out here. Drifter, draw even more cards. Okay, we'll probably sideswipe that. Good game. Did they hit what they want? Stock up. Look at the top 5 cards. Put 2 of them into your hand, and they're. Oh, and because it's not qualified, you have to take them. Memory card and Affinity for Art, for sure. Yeah, we just simply built up too big a buffer here. Actually, this is the case where I would have stopped drawing cards, not kept on drawing cards. Like, opponent, what gives? Maybe play this one, draw this card. Even more zombies. Yeah, the double Chariots, super cool. Once they get down to their last card, so we. I could sack one of the vehicles, but I don't want to. I don't want to draw another card at this point. Basically, I'm sniping their flyers because that's the most dangerous one of the bunch. It also helps that 2 of these creatures are not gonna attack. Well, this one will convert into that one, so that's fine. But yeah, we're gonna be doing the long and grindy game here. We made a few mistakes early. Now I'm trying to see. Opponent's in good game. Do they have it? Pick it for choice again. Would not be certain. Also, I should do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14. So 3 of these are lands. One of these is an actual spell. Safest bet. Yeah, they probably have a pump effect. But we're just kind of overcommitting here. Unfortunately for our opponent, their Sabsunan came down way too late. And yeah, they don't have anything else. Well, they never know. They might. There's something that bumps the face and, you know, or run over. Okay, that's their other card. And everything goes to damage. Yeah, that was 11. And we can crack back if we want. The drought of cards to do and drawing into lands, that was gonna be bound to happen at one point or another. So our opponent really just gave up on that one. They could have like waited for a few more turns. They could have tried to win with Sabsunan, but no, Sabsunan would have drawn the cards instead. So it was gonna also end them in that sense. So got our first win, pretty nice. But again, we still have to be cognizant of our mana. So ideally, we want more black than blue, but we want to still have black and blue. I'm still okay with 1/1. Our double black is literally just a spin out. This is. I think we can make this work. Like worst case scenario is Grim Bauble then sacrifice. Okay, never mind. So we might have to hold up for a spin out, depending on how aggro our opponent is. Because next turn we can just play the clip. Because our opponent looks like that they're kind of mono red at this point. Like I could just. I'm not taking this. Or am I kidding? Oh, they just cycled the Sky Crash? Oh, they're gonna not be happy when they find out what the artifact is. They could still have Crash and Burn, so this is not ideal either. Like, I might have been, but I would have needed 6. I would have needed 6 mana. Played this and the Reti doesn't do much. This is cool. They'll need to sacrifice an artifact in return. So far, they don't have any artifacts to return. figured they'd have to crash and burn, so we'll just cycle the Howler's Heavy. Cycle the Howler's Heavy, get some value out of it. And we can just Possession Engine, take their Duretti, clear the way. Yeah, I guess we do that. And oddly enough, unfortunately, the power, the increase in power is not relevant here because he can't attack or block. It does allow him to crew this one easily though, so we'll take it. They might have a... Oh no, that's what would have been too bad. So we go Wreckage with Wicker Folk first because he wants another side swipe. So knowing that this sacrifice an artifact or creature, so the Grim Bauble is a perfect sacrifice fodder here. Somehow we landed on a really good lane. The vehicle... We got the vehicles that work. On it having to draw cards. We were net... I'm actually surprised that we actually got to that speed up just because we took one of their surveyors, giving us to start their engines. And we actually managed to go engines faster. This one is really solid if you're doing the draw discard thing. That's what they're gonna do. They actually gave up a Dust Outraider. Yeah, this one's not so great. When it concedes, you're not gonna be able to block their way out of this. Doing pretty well. I actually like what we have so far. Let's double check if my... Okay, let me do a quick double check, see if my camera's still dead. Deactivate. Activate. Okay, I look okay. Turn it on. Okay, we're fine this time. If you're here to see the gameplay, you're not exactly here to see my mug. What are we looking at here? And yeah, the camera just died. I'm definitely gonna have to replace this camera. It's either replace the camera or replace the port where it's plugged in. Odds are I'm probably replacing the camera, so that's enough. I guess what I could do next time is I just do an instant early spiel, but then just turn the camera off. You don't need to see me all the time. Ooh, this one's a tough one. We could cycle, try to find our blue source. But I think I'll just take the mulligan first. This is kind of fine. We can do turn 2 Stingray, turn 3 Buccaneer, turn 4 cycle it, I guess. But we are in trouble right now. Let me say myself. If this attack will saddle, it will become a 2. Oh wait, it's not saddling that. So we kind of dodged that bullet for now. We might not dodge that bullet next time. Our opponent being in multiple colors. Okay, I'm probably not gonna block, so I'm gonna swing for attack. It also might encourage our opponent to cruise, swing, gives our Keen Buccaneer a clear pass, and then we get to decide if we want to bring Assailant. This is probably... Oh, they have to crew as a sorcery. They're not crewing. Okay. We did hit the bauble, so that changes our plans a bit. That's the cheapest. Yeah, the more cost efficient one is wait our turn, take out the Gloria, and just siphon fuel the Salad. Alternately, I could just draw this card like this. I do need this one though, so we have to pitch the top risk. Obviously, we're not swinging with the Stingray. The next turn we can go Buccaneer, do it again, now get ourselves a 3-4, or we can Siphon Fuel, depending what our opponent is. Opponent? Wait, did we start? No, our opponent started, so they actually missed the land drop. Okay, we're definitely sniping this. That's it in this case. Okay, they did have to run over, which then begs the question, do I just take the 4 or do I snipe this? Oh no, there's... they didn't like that, so I think it's able to snipe this one. And now I can do this one. I also have to be cognizant of this one, just +1/+0 in vigilance, so that is a pain. I kinda wish I could have felt that on a bit longer. When it finally hits their 4th mana, they have 5 mana. 4th land, they have 5 mana. Starting column, okay. Yeah, if you're playing multiple colors, you're kind of forced to play. It's not really playing the first one. They did have the right end for that. It is one of the few removal. It is one of their better removals, so getting it out of the way is quite best. But they might actually start saddling this to get land. They are kind of behind right now. On the meantime, I'm hoping to hit a cycler so that I can just drop Chariot, cycle, and start. I'm going for aggro that way. They might have a protection spell. If they do, they do. Again, we're gonna get it out of the way. We might as well get it out of the way. Yeah, I'm probably gonna still play this. Then I'm gonna have to sack the Grim Bauble to Surveil. I am gonna pass though. I'm not just gonna give it up. Opponent is gonna have more cards over us, so we have to be concerned about that. Oh, they actually hit Blue Man. Oh wow, opponent's doing the... +1/+2 flying. Tension Chariot is annoying. So I guess that is how the special works. Unless I know what they're taking. Actually, that helps us a lot. would prefer to actually have a card to draw into. But I do have a 3/4 blocker on hold. Actually, I have a 5/5 blocker on hold. I can kind of wait on this. Yeah, Detention Chariot being expensive, it kind of hurts a bit. That one is also a problem too. You only have one other spin out. This is the power of green creatures here, so we're gonna be kind of behind until that point. We will need to double block a lot. Guess we kind of wait. Just gonna have to, well... Honestly, our opponent should be dinging us with the glider. So now we actually have enough blockers. So yeah, we need an out for the glider. We already used 2 removal spells. We did draw a lot more cards than our opponent. Or did our opponent start with more cards to begin with? No, we drew more cards. Like we went through 2 of these. No, we went through 3 of these actually. Like we should be 3 cards up on our opponent. We didn't cycle, but we did surveil. Interesting choice. I probably would have done it to develop. I would have done it for the bike instead. I think our opponent is trying to bait out the right end. But it makes no sense if you're only attacking with that and nothing else. You just tap 2 creatures for no, unless you're trying to bait out. You're baiting out the right end. Or not. Because technically, you could just cast the right end right now. Just get it over with. Let's just run over. Okay, sure. They could have just used. They didn't need to actually tap this to activate that. So some more time with these triggers. So we're basically trying to cut down on lands like this. Optimizer is fine. It's actually weak, but it's still kind of fine. And you might as well swing now. So, like our opponent can just sack draw 2, discard 1, but that doesn't. Yeah, if our opponent wants to swing back and forth, let's race. So the links is gonna be a problem here. So we take 6, 7, 8. No, we chump block 1. So, okay, they draw 2, discard 1. Okay, looking for something. We're also kind of looking for something as well. Another bright field glider. So the saddle cost is an issue. So they're basically giving those both up to get this one. We will be taking 6 and giving our... Go down to 12. So the question is, we can take our opponent to 10. And there we go! Opponent got really impatient there. Whew! Okay, managed to get it. If we were doing a real control deck, our removal is woefully lacking. That would be the case where you definitely want your stun outs in. Yeah, you definitely want your bounce offs. You definitely want your stall outs. Those come in really easily. Otherwise, I'm still quite happy with this one as it is. I think there was that moment in game one where I felt like we could have used more card draw, but I guess the amount is kind of fine. We'll keep going with this. Hmm. There's so many unknown planes. But I guess it makes sense that you'd have to do this if you want to have them run vehicles. If it was Tarkir, it would automatically be mounts. That would have been an interesting nod if like they had one plane come from Tarkir, like say Zergo somehow joined the race. Of course he loses, so he goes back to increase. Small things. Okay, definitely keeping this between the we have double cyclers to kind of work our way to the rest. You have to remember that cycling is not really optimal here, because you're spending 2 mana for the most part. There are some 1 mana cyclers. They are very specific. The main cards themselves are, for lack of a better term, not that great. But here we can see that we do have the Howler. We can cycle both of these Howlers heavy to feed into this. Opponent cycling their Chariot. We need at least 1 more mana, so I'm gonna bin 1 island. Actually, there's an argument for getting 2s for the Siphon Field, but we'll probably get there. And it also has the Wreckage Hope. Yeah, because we want at least 4 so that we can just cast this. Which means we're gonna have to cycle through a bunch of Howlers. Buy ourselves some time that way. Unfortunately, it only reduces power, doesn't spike toughness. Sniping the land might have been kind of greedy, but I figured we would hit our 5th land when we needed it. Air response unit. We can kind of buy arts some time against that one. That does pilot is also an option here. It's not getting past either, but it does give us something. It does give us something to go back. I'm surprised our opponent hasn't hit, like, okay, this was their 2nd play, their 3rd play. We'll see what their turn 4 play is. The poor glorious path. This is a very nice target to snipe. Opponent's most likely going to prove that. There's also the argument for pitching the wreckage with their Wicker Folk there so that we can already cast this. Insert a little dominance that way. Yeah, we're missing the 1 mana for this. But we can wait this out a bit. We can cycle a bit more. Yeah, I might have been a bit too greedy, not taking this land. Apparently my cycle game was not that good. Oh yeah, we're definitely sniping this one over this one. So now I have to decide. Because I could also just... It doesn't cost them to lose ability, so I could also just take this one. I also have vehicles, because and so it does benefit me as well. I will have to give up one hit as a result. Or I could just wait, then siphon fuel the air response unit. It's kind of risky, but that is their biggest threat right now. There's also the argument for swinging with this one. Make it look like, oh no, I forgot it has vigilance. They're probably not gonna buy it. We cast the spritz, see if we manage to snipe it. They could have, there's a white spell that kind of gives them this Hexproof, I think, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of these sets are starting to blend together. It's not funny. Oh, they're just gonna sacrifice instead to Surveil. Okay, that's fine. So I have two choices. I can snipe this, or I can snipe this. Probably gonna just snipe set. Again, I do have a use for this, so I'm probably going to... Oh no, they didn't swing with that. Just take it. We do have a broadcast rambler. Yeah, we have to snipe this. We have to take the Cloud Spire Captain. That's a given. There's an argument for also doing it to Zafur. Oh, they can also sacrifice. Oh, they didn't sacrifice it. Okay, they missed that. They missed that interaction. They could have sacrificed it in response. Which kind of scares me, because it might mean they might have a way to get it back. I definitely want to play this though. Thankfully, this does not fly, so we can kind of chump it for the time being. It is a bit expensive to crew though, so well, the Deathless Pilot can crew it. We're giving up Wreckage Wickerful. But you can actually see that, yeah, with the right tempo, your vehicles can actually start getting through. It's not a pain. It was a problem for the previous deck. That one was kind of all over the place. They might still have removal for this. And if they somehow manage to take out the Possession Engine, they have to have something. If the something is just sacrificing, that's okay. Weird flex. Well, it is a weird flex. So we need to find removal for here soon. It didn't cause much of a loop. It was Leonian's Repair. First strike, but it's only on their turn. here, so we're gonna wait on this a bit. Our opponent's combats have not been total washes. Knights ends. Fair enough. But it did cost them that, so I'm actually fine with it. Having to use your own rights end on your own thing is such a big deal, man. Yeah. Opponent's gonna be able to cast this from graveyard, so that's a big deal bad there. You're gonna get your max speed, no matter what, so we're just gonna have to accept it. They can snipe one, but not both. That's principal double block. Go for the pilot, and with the extra creatures going to the yard, we will be. Oh, you can sacrifice the surveyor. Well, it's a shame that you haven't hit max speed yet. So that was so many creatures that we missed out on. So this is still gonna cost 3-6. I won't be able to trade the turn yet. And because of the way mana is tapped, they're not casting this way first. Exile, cast. I have to cast one of them. I can't cast both. But I will start swinging with this. So next turn we cast our Aetherdrift. A creature might die, so this becomes even cheaper. But the technical plan now is Gravestalker, buy back Deathless Pilot. I do like our opponent's deck for the most part. They even use their creatures probably to the best effect. Some combats might have been a bit suboptimal. They are drawing cards at this time, which means because right now their optimal play is to recast this. That's what they're gonna do. But I guess they want to draw a card to see if they hit anything. But right now it's gonna just be like bouncing off Wickerfolk. Also, the Gravestalker can still punch through it, so it's kind of a non-issue right now. There's an argument for swinging first with this before casting. It would have been 1 mana. It wouldn't have been huge savings. Let's see if our opponent has another right hand. Let's get those out of the way. Best right, yeah, they did have another one. Got it out of the way. That's good. And yeah, just buy back this pilot. Thankfully, our opponent ended up pitching the Detention Chariot. It's such a pain to have to fight our way through it again. Opponent having these flyers is a pain though. I'm not gonna lie. We can kind of buy ourselves a turn, but yeah, this is a case where we did not exactly maintain control. Now I could swing with this Gravestalker, try to punch out one flyer. Hence, that's a weird block. You could have. Oh, they have something. But again, if it gets it out of the way, it kind of has to happen. It's still really bad though, not gonna lie. So what's our remove? So we're really waiting on our removals. We're waiting to catch up on our end. That said, we did use up a lot of our cyclers. We only have the 3 mana guys with exhaust. That would be our out. Yeah, we have to take this one for now. Grim Bobble. We can snipe Zapur at least. And the reason for sniping it is so that because it's now they're max speed, we do not want them getting any more zombies. If they happen to have yet another protection spell, we can kind of concede at this point. They did not. They still make one on exit, but we can't really do much about that. And we kind of have to do this now. We really need to find an out. That's not an out, but that is probably the best thing we can. That's probably the best thing we can mill out, I suppose. Yeah, unfortunately, none of these guys are getting through. Black, white having a good number of flyers. Black, incidentally, having flyers. It's gonna be really tough for us. We're not exactly the flyers deck. I think we can take one more hit. That's probably over after this. Carving Slot. It gains indestructible and untaps all creatures. That's what this is for them. Yeah, we're not winning this one. Well, with land draws like these, we're not winning this at all. Nothing we can do about that. Anyway, so we had the plan. It wasn't quite perfect in this case. I guess the issue also was that we just stalled out for time, but time also worked on our opponent's favor. So not the greatest thing for us here. I'm gonna see if I can fix this bloody webcam one more time. Like it seems to fix itself, then it's gonna die again. Then it's gonna fix itself, then it's gonna die again. And it's gonna fix itself. Yeah, me complaining. I should also gonna have quite a few other testers. That's an issue. This one, I guess we have one cycler to buy us time, but 2 landers are also, especially for this deck, we have a lot of quite expensive stuff, so 2 landers are honestly scary. Okay, let's hit our 3rd land. So cycling Howlers Heavy does look good. So I guess we can wait. What is exactly doing it? I guess I cycle this one first because we can. Okay, now we're incentivized to stop cycling and hopefully get our next land. We can kind of buy time between the Hellish Sideswipe and the spin out. I'm probably gonna spin out first. 2-2. We're gonna hit the 3. We have our own King Buccaneer. Really want to play this, but that's not okay. Change of plans. What we do is we try to cycle into our next land because we have King Buccaneers or alternate. Okay, that is a good. We're probably gonna have to take another hit, but we definitely have to spin out that one. could play the Pactal Terror first, then play this. Yeah, we're not rushing. We play this one first. It's sufficient enough blocker for the most part. Next turn I reap. Oh no, they have a Copter Fabricator. Okay, that's where Hellish Sideswipe comes in. So good job there, and they get. We can still do. We do have blockers. That's the good news. We just don't use this. Don't have that many. I'm going to give the doll up here. Yeah, we have to snipe this. There's no reason. There's no good reason to keep it up. And we hold back. So next turn we can take King Buccaneer, threaten Exhaust, and then also play Howler's Heavy. So let's use the Exhaust to draw extra cards. We will be taking a hit because we can block both. The Howler's Heavy would be a neat well, but a ram down. How many ram downs does this guy have? Oh, but we did make him use up all his run overs. Okay, he drafted 3 run overs, which is annoying. He hit another top risk, so I guess it's top risk. But we did make them use 3 removals, so it's pretty. I did use removal combos, that's gonna be a big pain. We do have one more chariot, but I'm super incentivized to just do this now. And I need to check. Oh wait, never mind. I could have also tripped up, but it was going to just come back again. Angler. The Venom Sacks are going to be super annoying. Also, can't exactly go into this one if it's stacks. Get it out of the way. I kinda wish I did not snipe the Pactel, but let's see. Yellow hard light, ancient light. But now we're in the waiting game. We're gonna see a lot of this waiting game here, which you might not like it, but you know what to expect here. Siphon fuel is fine. We can. I'm not gonna give up the King Buccaneer right away, but I'm gonna send these two in. Yeah, basically we really want to start carrying our opponent down. Bounce off. So this is where taking the tie-up is irrelevant here. Now, if our opponent were to activate this, it would just... there is an argument for... there is an argument for actually just bouncing this. I can't play the King Buccaneer. I could swing with our own King Buccaneer. Just look through it in response. I'm actually going to swing with the light. Yeah, it doesn't get the ability, but I still have to deal with it again. I still have one more spin out. Now we can actually spin this. Opponent goes for it, and the nice thing is that well, it's a singular 5/6. It's not a real go wise. They swing, they take the hit, and get back. Depending what their opponent is. You could cycle, but they really need to execute. Hey, good evening, Jericho Ilagan. Thank you for liking the stream. How are you doing? How's your journey into Aetherdrift so far? The opponent is now sold out. I could copy this, vigilance it again. It basically just keep cycling through more cards. I could also just wait. It doesn't flash. I could just wait actually. Yeah, let's wait. But that means I'm not swinging, which is fine. It's also, but our opponent's eventually gonna draw into something. They're actually sandbagging right now, so I don't like it. we're gonna wait for our opponent to do something kind of big. Then we spin out one or the other. Then we just run. Powder's heavy. Mid. Aetherdrift is interesting. I lost badly with Bulgari good stuff despite the rare cards, but I got my money back with blue red. Yeah, it seems like there are some rares that are really powerful, but not all of them are. So there is that. Yeah, I'm still gonna hold on a bit. I don't like that I'm actually giving up a lot of time here for opponent. Because now let's say our opponent just has a bunch of them. Let's copy this one. There you go. Yeah, unfortunately, when I'm casting the wax and spell, casting the clone told me that our opponent did not have anything. So yeah, betrayed by Arena. It is what it is. I'm actually starting. Okay, like for this deck, we got quite a few rares. Super interesting, in fact. Like we had the Wax and Shape Thief. That was my first pick. Second pick, Cryptcaller Chariot, which is interesting. We kind of had to force a bit of cycling. We got a second copy of it, pack 2, pick 1. We actually had our choice between that and another Wax and Shape Thief. I just went for the Chariot. We got a later possession. Actually, I think the Position Engine Wheel. I might have to review the footage, but yeah, those are the rares we got. We got the Repurposing Bay as well, but we're definitely not. We missed out on a 3-mana artifact, so couldn't run it. Prince, I don't think it's a proper. I don't think it's a full-on Prince format. The removal, well, unless you're green, unless the opponent in question is playing green, the removal is sufficient enough. Okay, this one's a bit scary. We're gonna keep because we have the 2-3. We have a 2-3 either Gas Buster. The worst. Removal is rather scarce compared to previous expansions. Notably, white has a removal problem. I'm gonna offer the block. Probably still gonna offer the block here, so at least we're getting a turn for Kit and Gravestalker. One seems to have gone mono black here. Now our opponent would have the token thing. I still have to try for it. There's really no good spot for this. Yeah, maximum overdrive is an issue. We're not exactly spell keeping anything. We really need to hit one more mana, so I'm gonna just play the Wreckage Trigger Folk. Yeah, definitely taking those two. Red has its 1 mana ping, 4 mana. Now it's annoying. But we did get our opponent to use that removal right away, I guess. So that's fine. I could save 3 damage. Yeah, let's save 3 damage. Also, this is control, so if we take control of this guy, we can make a copy of it. Now that said, there is still vehicle removal for us to be concerned with. We can actually copy the possession engine to get another creature, so that's our Javelin Lumiere. We can't cruise, so opponent's gonna hit for 4. I guess what we can do is we can snipe your Javelin here. We can also Team Buccaneer this one, but we're kind of short on mana. Okay. Yeah, we can. Yeah, actually, I've seen a few semi-mono black concepts here, and if the picks line up, you can kind of make it work. I actually could have swung with this one if there would have been no consequence on that. Either Grim Javelin near opponent. But yeah, sometimes if it lines up, it lines up. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Now, an interesting thing is we can wax and spell. We can wax and spell teeth. Like, say our opponent decides to double block the. Double block. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Now I could also get thrown off like this. Copy. Borrow 1. There we go! Okay, maybe we were staring in. We were being beaten down by 7-2, which is powerful enough. If your opponent had the clunky draw, you could go mid-range. There's an argument for putting the vehicle in front of the attacking creature to preserve board state. That one was admittedly a little bit greedy. I figured that our opponent playing mono black, the tricks that they had were quite limited. Also, they were playing pretty honestly for the most part. What if they had it, they played it. And also, in fairness to our opponent, you're not expecting a clone with flash copying a control magic effect in the middle of combat. Again, kind of sketch. I would be throwing away a lot of cards just to hit our land drop, but I guess if we can land the engine, we can land it. Also, well, I guess if I do into the spin out, I would not have the second swamp anyway. I'm just gonna hit for now. I am probably gonna have to decide which one to pitch. Also, if our opponent goes Lightning Strike, that no, they're not gonna go for the Lightning Strike. I'll pitch the Gravestalker. Though there's an argument. I'm pretty sure they're gonna snipe this. Yeah, like there's an argument for doing the heavy, well, we now have two of them. Against red-white, the -3/-0 effect is actually gonna be quite relevant. we'll play the Guidelight Optimizer because that does give mana for protection engine. There's an argument for Wreckage Wicker Folk. Oh, opponent's actually playing Naya. Into a 3-2. Howler's heavy, doing a lot of heavy lifting. Definitely keeping the spin out. I can fish this swamp. I can fish this swamp. One could still have a big creature, but thankfully, like their commons are like their biggest creatures is 6/6, which even Cyclone Fuel answers. One is trying to look for a big answer that wipes the board. There is the red-white board wipe. There's also, well, he is in the correct colors for board wipes. Our opponent, that is. That is not a board wipe. We're gonna take it easy here. So our opponent's probably gonna do something like Ride's End or some other stuff. Never seen power debuffs doing work. Yeah, neither did I. That's why I was concerned about. 9 times out of 10, I would have kept the Chit and Gravestalker, but this was the perfect matchup for debuffs. Oh no, they're gonna crash and burn my Nimble. Guardian. I'm gonna do it with this one because the card. There you go. Need it. And that is a big enough creature for me. It's not the best creature to take, but it's big enough. Now, if they have a vehicle removal effect, that's not, but we do have the backup removal on our own. So Ride's End is a concern. I would not be surprised if they pop it off already. They don't seem to have anything else. This doesn't have reach, so I could just trade this, I guess. They're really trying to find a way to snipe this. Which means they have it, or they're thinking about it. Ooh, cycle to destroy target artifact. Okay. Go. I think we should be able to. We're not exactly. Ooh, driving force. Do they have a way to protect it? If not, I'll have to wait next turn. No, they don't have a way to protect it. Do they have big removal? Gallon Strike, okay. Buying time. It's not quite over yet. Oh, Gallon Strike is the other good. It's actually pretty good removal. I actually keep forgetting the defense there. But it does reduce white to 2 pieces of remove, 2 different removal spells when normally it would have 3. At least in common and uncommon. So it's going to be power up effects for the most part. It did contribute to the great powering down of white aggro, which is why this is the position we're here today. We actually got we're actually in our 6 wins. We are looking for our 7th. No spectacular pile up. Yeah, that That would have spectacular pileup would have been the really bad one. The red white one would have also been equally bad given how our power toughness. But considering how aggro our opponent was, have they were super unlikely to have a control effect. Well, that's not true. Even if I was playing super aggro, I would still have the board wipe in deck because you never know when things turn for the worse, and you need to be the one clearing the board. A reset button is good. Like, if you don't need it, you just don't play it. Okay, speaking of which, we definitely. This is admittedly slow. I would have liked to have one of our two mana spells. But we definitely use this to hit. Sadly, when we have Cryptcaller Champion, it's sad. It feels sad to pitch this to hit a land, but we kind of need to hit our next one. And we do hit our fourth land, so we are incentivized to not play cycle our howlers heavy. We're gonna be taking a hit here. Oh my gosh, we can be super greedy. Can I afford to take 5 damage and be super greedy here? Because the safe play is just to take the Possession Engine. Possession Engine, take this one, just take the hit up top and start hitting back on the bottom. It's a bit of a feel bad, but I am gonna do this first. In fact, I can use it to do this one and start swinging a bit. Yeah, we don't get. In fairness, I guess we could have blocked it. It wasn't gonna. Our opponent would have given it that. Would have just saddled it anyway, given it flying. So it would have still been 2 damage no matter what. Now, by doing this instead of this one, now that said, our opponent could have a Ride's End, so I think we're looking at one right now. I'd still swing anyway. Show me that Ride's End. Gallant Strike. Now it's toughness, so I would have no outs to that. I might as well get my 2 zombies. That said, we're gonna give our opponent back the seed. Opponent has to migrate to Petrodon. Like. I could have also just held this back, but yeah, we're gonna hold on to this. Still have to be quite careful. Maybe this is the opponent with the spectacular pileup. Maybe they're actually looking at their graveyard now, which kind of scares me. Okay, a way to get back. So we get to crash hard one more time. And we can try to cast it. Oh, they forgot to cast it. I just suspect they're trying to fake something out, so that's a very... We've been hitting very good surveils, I may say so myself. So yeah, I guess we can do this one now. Actually, I should have food with this one. Never mind, opponent concedes. I didn't take the risk this time, but there we go. We actually had a very solid run. Got 7 wins, 1 loss. I'll take it for what it is. That's actually a very, very good game. Very happy with the outcome. That's gonna be it. We're gonna claim the packs here, but we're not gonna open them yet. Yeah, congrats. It's been a long time since I last 7x something, so this is a very good one. Thank you so much, Eric, for the greetings. I am not gonna crack these packs though. Actually, wait, let me do a count. Do I have 10 packs already? I have 11. Okay, there's a reason that I wanted to hold on to this. I thought it was gonna take a longer time. You have to press the open 10 just to get this bloody achievement. And so I have to take a look at all of these at the same time. I get a lot of nice first things here. Yeah, I just had all that just for the bloody pack rat. Hey, that's gonna be it for this episode, Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot. Another monument. Yeah, this one had a good use for this one. Almost died to this. I wonder if Merfolk's gonna make a comeback. Warfortune. This is the one deck I figured I would really like to try if I could get this to line up. Redshift. And then on that list too. River Churn. Ooh, I heard this is the big Pokemon of the draft. If you can build a really protective deck, there's nothing that your opponent can really do about it except maybe destroy the artifact. And a lot of them are so vehicle specific. Your hold. Aetherdrift! I think it's my second copy already.
I'm gonna smoke the competition.
Okay. Okay, there's a story there for you. That said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Thank you so much, Jericho Aladdin, for sharing this moment with me. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. Nice. Have a great